How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video for you guys. And with this one, we'll be doing something a little bit different, especially for my TV show reviews where I do like episode by episode review videos. With this particular video, I'm going to be focusing on season 1 and 2 of The Boys, and actually to an extent finishing season 1 and 2, but I'll be going, or at least talking about it as a whole. So really excited. And like I said, if anything, it's so that way, if all, when it comes down to doing this, it's more of so that way other content can be pushed through a little bit faster. But to an extent, a lot of other people do it this way anyway, so I figured, you know, what the heck, why don't we go ahead and do it this way. Now, I guess to start us off, for those who haven't seen this show, this is a show that was released on Amazon Prime, and it is based on a comic book. It is, or is, if anything, the basic premise is literally a world that is full of superheroes that are run, or I guess if anything, controlled by a pharmaceutical conglomerate. And to an extent, the superheroes who pretend to, and I say that loosely, by the way, pretend to save you are not the best people. And to an extent, after a guy brutally and very viciously loses his girlfriend due to one of these supers, a man by the name of Butcher shows up, offers him the chance of a lifetime, and they basically take it back to the superheroes. So that is the basic premise, and to an extent, it's fun. It is a fun and interesting show, especially with as they're trying to take down this whole organization. They're also like looking at, or like, you know, uncovering conspiracies. Like, for instance, there's this whole thing where apparently the pharmaceutical company, or somebody involved in the pharmaceutical company, was releasing this particular compound that basically creates the superheroes. By the way, that's a quick spoiler, but that's relieved very quickly. But regardless, it's an interesting thing. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of stuff that are kind of cringe, though. If you're not, there are points where you might feel, I want to say, repulsed, but to an extent, all in all, when it comes to the fighting, the jokes, the humor, some of the just gruesomeness of it, it is an interesting show. And there is quite a few wins from, you know, the underdogs to some degree, especially with spoilers. One of the main characters who lost his girlfriend ends up getting revenge. And to an extent, talking about season 1 and 2 like very loosely, it's interesting. Again, it's an interesting like setup, especially when it comes down to like the first section where, you know, the crew is kind of being built up, where you have a group of guys that are coming together, some of them who have worked with each other previously, and to an extent they're trying to take down one of the main supers, who is basically like a knockoff of Superman, or at least Superman from Injustice, but to a whole perverse degree. But anyway, when it comes down to season 1, they build up the characters. They try to take down this character, Homelander, and it doesn't go well. So much so that they end up becoming wanted men. And season 2 kind of ends, or continues with that, where they're trying to, with the help of somebody from the inside of the pharmaceutical company, they are trying to continue their investigation, as well as try to survive, knowing full well what it's going to happen to them if they get caught. And to an extent, it is literally, again, continuing that story. Only to find out that, the reason that Butcher was doing all this turns out may have been, available to him the entire time. Again, I don't want to go into too much spoilers. I ask you guys to go check out the show. But above all, especially when it comes down to his mission to take down supers, as well as, I want to say, prejudice, you start to see a man who slowly kind of acclimates to being better. Somebody who already has a pretty dark background, which we find out more of in Season 2. But to an extent, we find out why he's doing the things he's doing, why he's so brutal, and what he's willing to go through in order to complete his mission. And to an extent, it's a learning experience for him, especially with what happens in the end of Season 2. Not going into any spoilers. So, all in all, is The Boys Season 1 and 2 good? Honestly, it has its moments. Some of the action bits are really good. When it comes down to some of the comedy, it's there. It has its good moments, has some of its bad moments. I guess if anything, just all in all, just the idea of this, where it's like a bunch of corrupt superheroes, is interesting to say the least. So, all in all, really good so far. I will say that it comes down to a lot of its pros kind of outweigh its cons in this situation, and I love it. So, with that being said, I think if anything, especially with this being not like a movie review, I think I'm gonna give this series so far, like Season 1 and 2, 8 out of 10. There are a few cons. Like, there were a couple parts where it got cringy, and to the point where they're kind of overdoing it with some of its grotesque nature. But to an extent, there are moments where it was at the right time, to an extent. So, above all, 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. And apparently Season 3 is coming out pretty soon, so I'm really looking forward to that. And with that was my review of The Boys Season 1 and 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts or any suggestions, leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.